goes another 20-year-old.
Holy shit, I hate those guys.
Gotta hate 20-year-olds.
Fuck those guys.
Somebody help these 20-year-olds.
It's time to figure it out, Ricky.
Yeah.
Touch me. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Good morning, Vietnam. It's a beautiful, snowy Wednesday morning. Why Wednesday? Because the podcast supposed to come out Tuesday. I did it last night at the end of a long day. Pretty funny day too. Yesterday just didn't quite go as planned, and I did the podcast last night right before bed because I was feeling a little extra motivation on top of my daily schedule. Kind of sucked. I'm gonna be honest. I was like editing it last night and just wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, I said I'd rather just give it another go in the morning. But yeah, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. Too Many Jams listeners, you know that I've made some changes recently. I just stopped being a little bitch, and I implemented a little bit of a routine. I've been trying to live according to discipline during the days and really not think too much. And I've been scheduling a routine that I said I'm going to do for the entire month and just see I'm only focusing on doing the routine, not on like anything else. And just seeing, how it could be improved and hitting the ground running. So last week was week 1. And the podcast I did last week was like day 2. And I was talking all sorts of shit day 2 about how, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and I'm not even tired. And like literally the next day, Wednesday, I had a long day. I had to stay up late Wednesday night. Just, life, you have to do some stuff in the evenings. And then I got up at 6 a.m. Thursday and I was exhausted. And I was like, right. Like, obviously, this gets harder over time. But still stuck true to the principles. And it was one of those things where the more tired you get, the more the old you creeps in. And, even though I'd set this routine out, Thursday morning comes around and I'm already thinking, maybe I just sleep in, maybe I just, like on the weekend, and this is me like Wednesday night, like really tired, planning my day the next day. I'm like, yeah. And it all makes sense. That's the worst part about it. It's like, I'm not a dumb person. Like the rationalizations make sense to me. I'm like, you know what? It's COVID. I can easily catch up on the weekend. And you're sitting there while you're planning your day the next day. And I was like, snap out of it. I'm 4 days into a routine. And the thing is, the weakness is not that I have those thoughts, because those thoughts are going to bounce in no matter what. Like I've not been able to escape the thoughts that are coming in like that. But it's the fact that I'm answering them, that I'm talking back, and I'm even considering them, that gives them any power. When all I committed to was doing the routine. I didn't say, oh, if tired, stop, or like if whatever. I just said, no, I'm going to do this for the entire month and see how I feel. And I'm already questioning, oh, like, well, I'd be better if I was just rested, and the quality of work and run. And I just wrote down in my little planner and I was like, I wrote down the routine as I said I'd do it, and I just got up. And guess what? Your body will do it. And I knew realistically, if I just stuck to it and drank maybe one more cup of coffee on Thursday, did a couple more walk-arounds and had some extra water and just kept grinding, I'd make it through. It's not like I'm going sleep deprived. I'd go to bed earlier Thursday night, and that's exactly what I did. And when I woke up in the morning, extra tired, I just popped out of bed and immediately, you shouldn't go outside. Maybe you should run on the treadmill. Like, that voice in your head is just going to tell you to be, it doesn't want, there's two voices, like mainly that happen in your head. One that plans and dreams and oh yeah, we could do this. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. And one that's like, oh, like maybe we don't. Like that's the voice that I want to like old school 1950s movie, like bully and swirly to death. Maybe not to death because it that was a little X Games right there, but just shut it up. It doesn't even make sense. So the second I hear that on Thursday, I just put on my shit and I went outside again and I had a great run, obviously. And it was a grind. And then I went and I worked out and it was fine and got to work and I was tired. Yeah, I had to have an extra coffee, but so fucking what? All I'm committing to is doing this routine. I didn't say anything else. So there's no other reason not to. And I powered through until the weekend. And I was proud of myself. And, nothing spectacular has happened. No fireworks went off. I didn't, the hottest girl I know didn't message me and say, like, marry me now. So, like, I think that's the important thing. So then the weekend. Okay. The weekend comes around and I'm now off. I haven't set the routine for the weekend. And I definitely had some thoughts about how to live, how I want to live, even on my off time. But because I didn't set it out and I just had a hard week, I spent Saturday catching up on video games. What can I say? Catching up on the Warzone. I had to keep my 150th in Canada rank solidified. You can't let that slide. And I had a big Warzone tournament. That's a game I'm playing, Call of Duty, on Sunday. So, I needed to put in a shift, right? And guess what? Like, end of Saturday, I basically achieved nothing. And even though I worked all week, I still didn't really like how I felt. And I remembered that, when I was thinking back about how to, just in general, how I wanted to live, it included what I did in my off time. Like I have I'm very good at picturing what I want. And my problem has always been, laying out just the process to get there and then sticking to it. But yeah, the guy I want to be is still on his off time taking care of business, like doing dope stuff. Like, not I can video game, but I'm not going to put in an 8-hour shift, and I'm going to live life. Like I'm going to enjoy some things, and a lot of those things require work to enjoy, and I'm okay to do that. And so I started thinking about that. Sunday came around, did a bit of a blend, because I was like, I'm just going to do something, do anything, just not the same. I'll get out of bed at a reasonable time and make sure I'm fed and make sure I take care of the basics. And yeah, Monday, having a chat with the roommates, the house we're moving into, we have a chat twice a week just to make sure things are, furniture and all this stuff are in check, but also that we're all in check. And Kevin, one of my roommates, was asking, he was just asking about how the routine was going and saying, what am I going to do when I'm taking time off for Christmas? Because I'm going to take like the Christmas, like 4 days around Christmas off, and then like 2 or 3 days around New Year's. And it was a great question. And it made me think of the weekend, and it made me think of how there are shortcomings to this discipline routine so far, and I think that's fine. I think that's great. That's probably the whole point. What I realized is the shortcomings to my discipline so far is that, yeah, I'm getting up. Yeah, I'm doing the morning run, the morning workout and stretch, the morning eating, and then, getting to work on Monday. Like, I'm sticking to the general outlines. What I'm noticing is I'm starting to let, even though I'm not really thinking, and I'm just doing it because I laid out what to do. And, the night before I do plan. So I pick what I'm going to do, and I use motivation to, kind of guide me. But the next day I just get to it. I found though I can, even without thinking, I can kind of waste time. So although I'm not like having a big motivational breakdown, like that I should right before I start work, should I take 10 minutes to watch YouTube, or, just relax or, get to it. Instead of having that thought, I can physically, my subconscious I can just sit there and like look at the computer and be like, before I get to work, I want to hear that song I was working on yesterday. And I'll listen to it like twice or 3 times and just get excited about what I'm going to work on in the afternoon. But the song's 5 minutes long. I just wasted 15 minutes. And I know there's time for stuff like that, and it's all great and dandy, but that's not how I laid out my day. And then, I'll get a message on social media app, and I'll check and I'll say, I'll clear my messages, and it's 15 minutes. So I find that still switching between tasks, not thinking, and just trying to like do what's in front of me, you still get bogged down in the switching of tasks. And, you fit in a 15-minute listen to the song you made, or 15-minute, answer your buddies on DMs or answer your texts. And I don't really know what to do about that. And I also found, the other thing I found last week is that I didn't set an end time to the music portion of my routine. I just said I was going to work on music every afternoon from 2 till at least 5. And what ends up happening is it goes almost every time 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Like I just keep going. And it doesn't sound like a bad thing, but I've found that it kind of is. I get diminishing returns. I still make progress and I do some cool stuff, but if I'm going to take a prime chunk of my every single day and devote 4 or 5 hours, to music, that's great and all, but I got to shut off. I got to go make dinner. I got to turn to the other stuff. And I found that, things can, I think I do need to try some sort of a hard cut. And then, because music is one of those things where I would love to eventually be able to spend more time on it, but I do need to make money and I need to eat and live and all that stuff. That's why I'm getting up early, is to fit it all in. Not there, so it's not that I'm just getting up early for no reason. So yeah, and like on weekends and stuff, that's probably where the extra motivation, and some evenings I have free, I can still go back to music, but I have to stop. I have to switch. I can't just put in 4, 5, 6 hours straight. I got to fit in the regular life and living in it. So I'm still kind of working through this and how it's going to work. Yesterday morning, I was not, it was not going well. So yesterday was Tuesday. I got up Monday, no problem. Got back to work. I didn't really remotivate Sunday night. I didn't really plan my week out. And I said that was going to be a part of my routine. So I let that slip, and I kind of I think you really got to pay attention to, I planned it like my next day, Sunday night, but I didn't really do, the whole point is that I'm doing this for a reason, and I got to keep reminding myself and visualizing and planning and assessing. And only when it comes to the day to day do I just put my head down and enjoy being in the process of it. So yeah, I'm noticing it's just little tweaks here and there, nothing crazy. I'm still feeling real strong about this. I feel it in a deeper place. I don't feel like I'm using motivation for it still. The satisfaction I get isn't feeding back into for me to want to do it again. It's just kind of an enjoyable feeling of suffering in like a little way, like it's an enjoyable feeling of matching my desires with action. Like if I say this is what I want so badly, it feels good to at least feel like I'm grinding for it, and I'm willing to give up comfort for it, and it makes me, it takes away, if you listen to previous podcasts and you've read The War of Art, it takes away that kind of like negative, bad manifestation of giving into resistance and laziness and procrastination that usually like then it creates a domino effect of bad things. Doing it, I've seen, has created a domino effect of good things for me, where I do get ideas popping into my head that don't ever percolate when I'm living a different way. Ideas of who to reach out to, how to reach out, things to try, what I want to try tomorrow. The songs make good, different progress. The stuff I'm working on is usually stuff that I don't want to do first, and I'm throwing myself into it, and I'm kind of making mistakes, and it's uncomfortable, but then I'm learning. I don't know. It's just kind of working. But yeah, those little slip ups led me to have a couple mediocre days. Monday, mediocre, just kind of got through, stuck to it, but just like I said, on the phone for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, going through Instagram messages or listening to music or like watching a little YouTube video, and that's not what I want to do. So today I just got back on course, but so yesterday I wake up in the morning, same deal. Just tried to be better than the day before, because that's all I'm focusing on. So, I reminded myself that I hadn't planned and motivated. So, I made a good plan Monday night and just reminded myself that this is everything I want from life is at the other end of whatever I'm doing here. And the answers I don't have will just come from doing. And I just got to it. Had a great Tuesday morning, and then 9:00 rolls around. I'm about to get to work, and life happens. There's a bunch of shit that we've been looking for the family that just started to go on sale. And, they ask, hey, can you do that? Can you go pick it up? It's only on sale and, could sell out, and it's only today, clearance items, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'll go do that. I go in the morning, takes me 2.5 hours to find these items. They're not on the shelves. The sales aren't lining up. I'm getting them to check back inventory, and finally, I get out of there. Then I go to the next store, and I'm doing a curbside pickup of something I bought online. And I'm just trying to like do a bunch of things. I'm also answering I'm like, if I'm out here, I'm going to be answering messages. I'm on the phone, trying to sort something out. And I fucked up. I crashed my car. Yeah. A bit of a bonehead move, maybe I'll chalk it up to sleep deprivation, I'm not an idiot. I don't do this often, but sorry, just get my coffee. Yeah, crashed my car. So my car shuts off when I stop. Like, it's got that auto shut off, auto start. You pull up to a light, the engine shuts off. And then when you let go of the brake, it auto starts and, starts rolling. If you're doing 3 things at once and you pull into a parking space and your car shuts off, you can forget that you didn't shut your car off. Especially if you're distracted. And the guy comes to my window, knocks on the window because he's got my order. And I got to go open the back seat for him. So I open my driver's door. I take my foot off the brake, like, simultaneously. And I moved just quick enough that I transferred weight. The car fired up, started rolling forward. I couldn't get on the brake in time. It ran into the cinder block right in front of the car, not like a normal parking stopper. Like, they had cinder blocks holding up this curbside pickup sign, just big enough to hit something under my car, just small enough so that the bumper didn't just, or like the wheels, it went like in between where the wheels are and just hit underneath my radiator and crunch something. This employee was freaking out, and all of a sudden just all this liquid starts shooting at the bottom of my car. I think I've broken the radiator, like a really expensive, really important piece, I think, is shooting liquid out on the ground. I'm fucking devastated. You don't feel, nothing makes you feel more like a failure than in front of some guy delivering your thing to you. You let your foot off the gas, the car runs into a cinder block and just blows liquid all over the ground. It's on the, I'd almost rather have shit myself in front of this guy, I think, than this happened. It's actually very embarrassing. And yeah, I looked him right in the face and I said, I thought it was my radiator. So I said, just put it in the back. I said, don't worry about me. I'll take care of this. So I get back in the car. Thank the Lord Jesus. I get a notification that my windshield washer fluid is low. Nothing else. And I just crunched the windshield washer basin. I guess it's low on the left side of my car, right near where the radiator is. And it blew out all the windshield washer fluid. Not a big deal. And I didn't know that though. At the time, I still thought I could have cracked something else. So I drove to the mechanic. I dealt with it right away. And I just didn't beat myself up like I normally would. I kind of even took it in stride. I know it's not directly related to the work I'm doing, but I just took it in stride. Like, if you're doing a lot of things, shit's going to happen. I mean, a lesson learned, and every mistake is a lesson, and I'm going to have to do a bit of work to fix this. And I just didn't judge it. I just didn't judge myself, and I didn't waste any extra shit on it. I went right to the mechanic. I talked to these guys. Just said, this is what I did. I'll take care of it right away. Let me know what it costs. If you can have it done by the end of the week, great. And I got to give a shout out to these boys, these mechanics. We have a long history with them. They're right around the corner from our house. We've been with them for like 15, 20 years. We have so many cars over the years, especially me in old cars. I'm in and out of there all the time. My dad has in and out of there all the time. He's got an old car too. My sister drives an older car. We're just in and out of there. We get all like with 5 people, 5 vehicles, snow tires and fluid changes and filters. Like, I'm pretty sure we got to be a loyal customer. There's got to be some sort of loyalty program. And we're just lads with them. Like, I roll in there, when I've hit cinder blocks and stuff, and shoot the shit and let them know that I'm a silly goose. And these boys, they fix it for free. They said happy holidays. And I don't even want to shout out their name because I don't know if they want people knowing that they do that type of stuff. But yeah, shout out. Saved me a good load of grief and got right back to work. It's now like 2 or 3. And now my routine is shit. And I had things due yesterday. I had orders from my online business that needed to be... they need to get out like immediately within a day. That's what's promised on the website. I had the podcast that needs to be done in the evening. The taxes are due on my other jewelry business at the end of the month. So much financial work to do there. And this week I was dedicating to it. Monday I spent dealing with all these products I'm selling on Kijiji. So I didn't get to it. And so I'm just behind. Let's just say that. Then this all happens. And I'm feeling like, what do I do? I'm also really fucking tired. And I choose to get back to music because I was like, that's the slot that I have to do in this time. And I don't know. That's the thing. I really think that life is going to be more similar to yesterday for the rest of my life than other days. I think most of the time, like today, for example, I have 2 appointments. I have a dentist and a foot follow-up from my foot surgery, both midday. Probably going to take a couple hours of my time going between. I think life is more this. It's going to be things popping up, especially like later in life when you have kids or like real shit happens, like, your house, I don't know, someone crashes, you actually crash a car, like your house, like furnace breaks or like anything can happen, birthdays or a special event. So I have to figure out a way to apply discipline and not overthink it and just kind of recover, get back to it. And I kind of think I'm trying that today. I did music yesterday and I didn't set an off time, and I did music from 3 till 8 or 9, even though I had that other stuff to do. And then I went and did a podcast, did a kind of shite job, and it was like 11:30, and I knew I had to get to bed because I'm getting up early. So I stopped editing. I just fresh started again today. Had a better run, a really solid workout, just slowly getting better, and just focused on getting back to it. 9:30 right now. I know I have all this other stuff to do, but the podcast was due last night. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to get to my online store orders, get that done because that was due yesterday. I'm going to do my appointments. And then in the afternoon, even though it's supposed to be music, I'm going to get to my tax work. I'm going to still reply to all the messages and all the other stuff I got going on. But I'm not letting it. I just changed my attitude. Like, yeah, I'm behind. It's not a big deal. Just do what you can. I know that I said when I planned out this routine that if you can't do the routine, you have to, like, if you have an appointment or something pops up, you can't do the routine. You have to just recover, find a way to make up for it. And I think I just don't overthink that too. I made my best guess about how to recover, and I might just work late tonight, but still get an early night, and just work late tomorrow, and just recover and do the extra work. And I think it's just healthy. This attitude of not looking at mistakes as this big end all be all, and more work as this big end all be all, or being behind or piling it on. It's such a waste of energy thinking about all that. You got to do it anyway. That's the point. The more you leave something, the worse the problem gets. That's the point. You got to do it anyway. So what's with the mental hula hoops? Yeah, so things are going well. I'm taking a few more risks. I reached out to people that I wouldn't normally reach out to, and I'm expecting mistakes. It's like hockey or dirt biking. Like, if you're not crashing, if you're not kind of like falling on your face or getting destroyed open ice, you're really not pushing your limits. And yeah, I think the people that are best at these activities, they know how to crash well. They know where to push their limits, and I think that's a smart place. And I have crashed my dirt bike and not been too hurt, because you're pushing your limits in areas where you actually have it's if you're not crashing, you're not pushing your limits, and if you're crashing too hard, you're pushing the wrong areas. And it's that middle ground of finding new ground, hitting it with a good process, and yeah, if there's slip ups and mistakes, like leaning into it and taking these risks. And kind of when work and bad stuff hits me now, I'm taking a bit of the like the Jocko Wilnick, whatever his name is, and the Goggins, and I'm just saying, good. I fucking love it. Give it to me. I'm young. I can do it. I got time. I got no kids. Got no girlfriend. I can hammer it. Like, it's perfect time. Give it to me now. And I think I'm stumbling on like the fountain of youth of how am I gonna eventually get there and be inevitable. I think I'm swimming in the pond of it right now. Doing what I don't want to do and not overthinking it and just sticking to process. So yeah, that's the update on the kid. I still think I'm gonna change around the podcast. I'm gonna change around the routine in the new year too, based on how it goes this year. Make the podcast, depending on what Rob does, maybe more about this next chapter. Maybe change the name or just change up the concept. And I might even change my routine so it's not music every afternoon. Maybe it's a podcast Tuesday afternoon. So I spend a significant amount of time on it. I might change up my my music time to be partially exposure and marketing, whether it's like a cover video or if it's like reaching out to people for collabs, picture, photo shoot, and then partially writing and making sure that gets done every day, and maybe just extending the period of time I work on music, but still having that hard cut at like 6:30. And same with business. I got to find a way to not overdo one task and kind of spread the love a little bit. I'll try it. It's going to be fun. It's nothing crazy. Otherwise, I did write down some things from the week that I've been seeing going on. Got to pull it up in my notes here. Oh shit. Okay. First of all, right after last episode when I talked about not UAVs, that's Call of Duty in my brain. Anyone who plays Call of Duty just is gonna absolutely love that I just said UAV. It's this UFO thing. Did anyone else see? I didn't even read it, but I was talking about UFOs last weekend, and then right away, everyone sent me this Israeli defense guy wrote a book about UFOs. And if any of you guys read the article, I haven't read it yet, but my friends were telling me that some guy high up in Israeli military and retired now came out with a book with his experiences and his knowledge on the state of UFOs as far as like militaries and governments understand it. And he said, like, I was worried about saying whack shit last podcast, just saying that what the Pentagon has admitted to is crazy, and the fact that there is flying objects that are filmed and documented and have crashed, and the government is admitting to that, like, blew my mind. This Israeli guy went next level. He said that not only is there that, he said that there's been contact, that there is a galactic agreement, an underground base on Mars, all this shit. He said that President Trump knows about it. That's why President Trump was talking about a space force. He said that, he went back to the OGs and was like, Roswell was a crash. Like, we've been in contact for a long time. Like, that was back in the 40s or whatever. So I don't know what the truth is. His stuff is, it's hard. It's just hard to believe. But it's easier to believe given the context that, okay, well, why is it so hard to believe? If the government is admitting that there's actually these flying things and tons of them, that they have no idea what they are, and their pilots see it, their radar see it, they got it on video, they have materials that they don't quite understand. It's not actually that hard to believe that there's something else, but to take his word for it would be tough. Unless all the governments started, agreeing, or there's some sort of consensus, it's still hard. But I thought that was interesting. Otherwise, too, I said I was in a big Warzone tourney on Sunday, and all my boys were in it too, so it was nice just fucking mucking the lads, just rinsing their teams out of the tournament, and put up a nice cheeky second place finish. Also posted the highest round score our team did, so shout out to my team. Actually, I can't say my team name because it's incredibly inappropriate, but shout out to Dave Lay and his brother Jay Lay. We put in a nice second place finish. I think we could have gripped first next time, but I think I might start playing tournaments. Like, it's weird to say because I don't want to get more into video games, but if I'm going to put in the time I put in, and if hockey's still going to be canceled and all my social events are still going to be canceled, I don't think it's crazy to have a hobby that I'm good at. I might enter tournaments. And I was even thinking, if it's easy to just set up the stream every time I play, John Famos is a dope gamer persona as well. Like the rock star, put on a fucking fur coat and slick the hair back, strap into the gaming system, film yourself when you're playing these tournaments, maybe win some money, maybe get some jokes content. It's all things I've been thinking about. Not that I want to add more to my plate until I get the core covered. What else did I see? Oh, I saw something really jokes, and I love the creativity on some of these people out there. Some guy who's a coder, or like can make apps on the phone. He made an app for your camera that puts out like a filter over, like you go into the app and the app uses the camera and it makes it look like you're on Instagram live streaming to like 40, 50,000 people. So it's like the likes are flowing in, comments. It says 50,000 viewers, Instagram live. And he made a video of him using this to get into clubs in the evening, like beach clubs during the day, special restaurants. He just goes to the front of the line, talking to his phone. There's no one there. It's just the app emulating Instagram live. And they go, you can't come in. He goes, oh, you hear that? They won't let me in. Like these viewers, they told me to come here. I got 40,000 people. They said this place was great. I guess I'll go somewhere else. And they're like, oh no, you can come in. I love the creativity. I love the nuts on some people too. It's such a simple idea, and there's tons of people that do stuff like that, and I back it so hard. Just to live free, and as uncomfortable as some of these YouTubers like Nelk Boys and their stupid pranks. And there's a YouTube channel called Yes Theory that just is all about like really super tacky comfort zone pushing, like taking a stranger around the world on a date, jumping out of a plane if you're scared to do it. But it's really just wholesome, freeing. Just nothing matters. No one's opinion matters. Everyone is just, they care about themselves, and you really are free to navigate how you want to navigate on this planet. And I like that. That made me that gave me a good chuckle. Also, then I saw people. Adele lost weight. I didn't follow up to see if this is real, but I saw a picture of Adele, or not Adele. Oh, not Adele. Sorry, I wrote this down. One sec. I think it's a comedian. Rebel Wilson, not Adele. Sorry. Adele also lost weight, but Rebel Wilson, remember that like kind of like chubbier actress? Apparently she's slim now. Google it though. I might even throw a picture here. I'll throw a picture here in the podcast of what she looks like now. But guess what? Guess what happens? People give her shit. If this is true, because the videos I saw were not of if she's skinny. They were saying, like, I hate to see that Rebel is like given into society pressure to lose weight, and we loved her for who she is. And like, it's just like, this sucks. And it blew my mind that someone losing weight could be looked at like that. And they did it to Adele too. Like this whole like community of large people trying to justify their largeness with famous large people, which I understand. Representation is representation. Doesn't mean that famous large person can't also choose to not be large if they want to. They could be both. I think that's the point. The point is accepting largeness, but also accepting slimness. This is the whole. This is how society corrects itself, and it's great and all. Is they first just ask for acceptance, and then they try to beat down the status quo as bad, and then after acceptance starts rolling in, and then the status quo then starts to push back and say, well, like, listen, we accepted, but like, I don't fucking approve of what you're doing either. Like, you don't have to tell me what I'm doing is bad. And then it kind of bounces around a medium until like 20 years down the line, people can't even believe that, oh, like people used to be racist. Like, oh, that's so crazy. Like now everyone's so accepting. And that's just how we do it. So it's one of those things where, I think, with body positivity, like for women, it also came like health shaming. And what I also haven't seen yet, and I thought about this the other day, is as much as I've seen big women in like Dove commercials and magazine covers and plus size models and all that stuff, where's all my fat dudes at? I haven't really seen too many plus size big dudes on shit. And like as much as big girls are beautiful, I think some big burly dude on Men's Health would be great, like a Burt Kreischer, or like let's get some barrels out there. Let's get some and let's make unsuccessful people hot. I hate having to try to work so hard while we're at it. And like that's a bit of a joke, but it's also a bit of a like, hey, unsuccessful guys, let's not shame them. Let's prop them up. Like, it's dope to be stoic. Money isn't everything, Let's fire that up. And then, I personally will still go my train, but then at least on the way there, I don't have to feel like such a piece of shit. Fire that up for me. Let's get if you back that, let's get that out there. If anyone's got any pull in the industry, let's get that out there. I think that's all. Look at my thing. The only other thing I've been doing is, sorry, I'm burping all the time. I crushed breakfast right before this, and I'm drinking a coffee. The other thing I've been doing is selling these collectible trucks, and it was a real good exercise for me in leaning into something you don't want to do. And these trucks, to explain to anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, they are the company my dad works for. It's a big company, and they part of their yearly gifts to employees are these kind of like collectible branded die-cast trucks. So like they're model trucks about the size of I don't know, like a the size of a sweet potato. Like, I don't know how to size them for you. If you're watching the video, here, I'll hold one up. 1 sec. Boom. You see that? You see that in the video? It's a 1/64th model. Like, this is like a 1940 Ford. It's got the logos on it. And these are collectible. People collect them. They're still in like a case. And we have a bunch because my dad's been working at his company for like over 25 years. And some of these bad boys are valuable. And I sold, so he had a big stack that was, all stored away. I sold half the stack last year. And it was annoying because I know nothing about these collectible items, and collectors know everything. And when you try to sell in that environment, you feel like, pretty anxious that you're gonna make a mistake, and I almost did. And that's there was a truck, a highly collectible truck worth about $1,500 that I was gonna sell for like $150. I don't even know. And it made me scared about any truck that I couldn't research. And that's the thing, is like a lot of them are common. So when I go and I Google them, they'll pop up and I'll see someone selling it for $40 or $60. And I go, okay, that's what I'll price it in, that range. And that's A-okay. But then there's a bunch of trucks that are rare. And obviously the rare trucks, they don't have anything on the market usually. That's why they're rare. And it doesn't stop collectors or people that are knowledgeable from absolutely lowballing you on them because they want to turn around and resell it. So it's a really, like, I really put this off and avoided doing this for so long. In my disciplinary state, I spent all last week, I was like, this is the thing I want to do the least that could probably get me like quick cash, and I need cash. So I leaned into it, photographed them all. It's like 20 plus trucks, and researched the ones I could find. And the ones I couldn't find, I didn't know what to do. So, it was like 3/4 of the week, and part of my discipline, I was like, I got to do something. I just got to make my best guess. So I just posted them without a price, and I said, make me an offer. I saw the offers that came through, and normally, an overthinker, a perfectionist, I would have really been not okay with this and probably, procrastinated and not answered people. It was like the thing I want to do the least, and these are the things I did a lot of mornings last week, is spend an entire morning responding to people lowballing me and trying to rinse me for my family's collectible, like earned trucks. And, they're all nice people. They're not doing it on purpose, but they have they either do it for fun or for a profession. They trade these things. And so what I did is I just leaned into the discomfort. And I messaged back and I said, hey, thanks for the offer. I'm not in a rush to sell because I owe these people nothing. I don't have to sell it. They're mine. That's the thing, is like, once you get past your own thought, your own mentality and the way you like break things down, everything is just simple. And you might make a mistake. Sure, I could. That's life. But the amount of thinking I did going into it wouldn't change that. So I just said to these people, I'm not in a rush to sell. Thanks for the offer. I'll consider it. I still don't know what these are worth. I wanted to list them to see if I could figure it out, and basically kind of like that sentiment. And people are fine with that. They go, oh, cheers. Like, thanks for the response. Yeah, let me know. In my experience, I think, some people wouldn't tell you that, but some people, yeah, my experience is worth this. Still a low ball. Other people would offer for the whole lot, a massive low ball. And, I said the same response. Eventually, just back and forth with a bunch of people until, collectors, they start to recognize that you're not just going to unload it. And they start to say, hey, like, you got a great collection and I understand that your family's trucks. I'll help you out. If you keep me in the loop on what people are offering and what you'll eventually sell it for, I'll help you out. I'll tell you what they're worth. Couple guys do that. Other guys message and they say, oh, I really need this truck. I already have the others. And I go, okay, great. Thanks. I'm actually still trying to figure out what this one's worth. Appreciate the offer. If you don't mind, like, what did you pay when you bought the other trucks? And they'll tell you, and they don't mind. And eventually I'm at a point now where I'm texting a mega collector. we're buddies, and he's like, we're chatting, and he gave me what everything's worth to collector book value, what to list it for, high and low to accept. And all he asks in return is that I keep him in the loop. If I do end up selling anything, or if I do want to drop to a discount to sell him everything, or if new trucks come in, to just let him know if any of the rare ones pop through, and he send me a list. And I could have waited months and months and months to get nowhere near what just doing could have got me. And I appreciated that sentiment, and I've been doing it. I've just been applying that sentiment to other things. And to be honest, I am not selling trucks yet. I forgot that people have no money. It's a recession. Not a great time to sell collectible items, but it's not a big deal. I'll just keep them listed, and some people are starting to get close to offers, and I say, you're close. You're not quite there yet. If I change my mind, I'll let you know. I don't owe anyone anything. They're mine, or they're ours. You know what I mean? So mentality was something I focused on before, but I think it's really important to recognize that I was right about the mentality, and I was just wrong about how I was kind of the core of it, the real root of it. The mentality is that, nothing matters, and it's really about process and just kind of learning by doing. And I was using motivation to apply that, whereas now it's like more just accepting it, which is good. So I'm going to keep trucking. I'm going to be getting up and working, and it's 10 a.m. now. I'll edit this. I'll turn to my next thing, and I'll go to my appointment. I'll keep moving. Maybe have an extra coffee. I just had a fucking sick workout, and just focus on being a little bit better day by day. And the music's coming along, and eventually, I will get to a point where I have money and music and health and everything in a balance, and I'm doing it every day. Songs are coming out often. The podcast is buzzing. Or I will have learned from doing that I can't do that, or I have to do something different, but at least I'll have a good leg to stand on, get psyched. I hope you're fired up in whatever projects you're working on. Just relax and just accept your fate, that if you want to be special, you got to work for it. And if you want to be comfortable, that's fine too, as long as it's what you truly want and you're not avoiding something. They're both A-okay. You can live however you want. You could be a monk in the forest. If it's what you want, truly, and you're not running from anything, I think that's the point. And on that note, I'll see you next Tuesday, Wednesday. Later.
Was it something I said that made you anxious?